Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Butler. Here. Commissioner Clausen.
Here.
Commissioner Cox.
Here.
Commissioner Phipps.
Here.
Mayor Hall.
Here. Consent agenda. Items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature and will be enacted by one motion. No separate discussion of these items will occur unless a council member requests the item to be removed from the consent agenda. If an item is removed from the consent agenda, it will be considered elsewhere on the agenda for this meeting. Prior to asking for a motion to approve the consent agenda, the mayor will ask if anyone desires to remove an item from the consent agenda for public discussion.
Mayor.
Yes.
I would like to pull the Thompson Colburn bill for $80,675. Just says under sports complex project. I think the item or the line item is pulled from was 110-5160519. I'd just like to clarify what that bill is about.
You want me to go ahead and clarify it now?
I don't know Robert's Rules of Order on that.
Yeah, we could, if that's your question.
Yes.
So yes,
What-
those bills are for, the $2,700 was, the final lives of phase one, which came in late. The second one was for our audit. Basically, the attorney had to provide a letter to our auditors. All of our attorneys charge for that. And then the last one is everything on phase two and up to date, which originally she agreed to have all this in with the closing of our bond proceeds. But the delay of the bond closing, she's now asked to go ahead and get paid. I did ask Rural King if they would pay the 77,000 one. They said yes, they would reimburse us for that one. And so as soon as we get these paid, I will submit the invoice to Rural King and then they will pay us.
Will you please email the council that it was paid by Rural King?
Yep.
Okay. Does that to resolve the issue?
That's for me. I don't know if other council members. That was my question.
Okay. Anybody else have any issues there? Anything else?
Are we current on all that?
Everything,
those bills?
everything we've agreed on that we've invoiced them, they paid, yes.
And then, has the city paid any of those and not been reimbursed?
There is a bill out there that was in phase one that we did pay that I did not bill Rural King. And it was, everything was going crazy at the end on one, and everybody spent a lot more than what we planned on spending. But we've still paid maybe a third to a quarter of what Rural King has paid.
How much is that?
It's over 500,000, I think, total on that first phase.
Just in the attorney fees? And then the city has paid a third of that, roughly a third?
I think
5%?
after we pay all this, we've paid like 130,000.
And they have to reimburse all of it?
And no, the original agreement, we were gonna cover, I want to say 45,000 or something like that.
It was 45.
So, there wasn't another bill of 88 that I did not, bill them because we did not get approval on. And we were having some arguments with the attorney, so I have not asked Rural King to pay for that, but we can do that.
I was just curious in the total.
So, yeah, we'll end up spending about 130,000 and they've spent over 400,000.
Sure.
On just our bills, plus whatever they spent on their bills.
So are we going to have any more attorney fees as we go into phase two?
This should take care of everything on phase two.
Gotcha.
Anything else that's left would be with the bond proceeds.
All right. Thank you.
Anything else on the current bills and payroll? Okay, hearing none.
So we can include that back in with this, right?
It's, yeah, right now there is a request,
We don't have to
To
separate.
understand,
provide the
clarify
information,
it.
and we did that.
Yes.
So, do we need to do anything else?
No, just read what we're
Okay,
passing.
Okay, okay, I move to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of September 16th, 2025, the bills and payroll for the last half of September 2025, and the mayor's expenses for the Illinois Municipal League. I have a second to that motion.
Thanks.
Commissioner Cox, and roll call.
Commissioner Butler,
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Cox,
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes. Presentations, petitions, and communications. This portion of the city council meeting is reserved for persons who desire to address the council. The Illinois Open Meetings Act mandates that the city council may not take action on comments received on matters that have not been identified on this agenda, but the council may direct staff to address the topic or refer the matter for action on the agenda for another meeting. Persons addressing the council are requested to limit their presentation to 3 minutes and to avoid repetitious comments. We would also ask you state your name and address for the record, as well as stand when speaking. Would anybody like to address the council this evening? Is anybody online?
Ed, is anyone online?
Okay,
So,
Oh,
I won't ask. Ed, you got any questions for us?
You got-
I'm good, believe it or not.
Okay, good, good. All right, quick, move on.
can we vote on that?
Yeah.
So.
All right, so now we go into new business. And first on the,
Motion to adopt ordinance number 2025-5499, amending the municipal code of ordinances, chapter 159, zoning section 159.46, table 2, special uses, districts, and parking requirements to update zoning definitions and to establish setback standards for utility scale energy generation.
and a second to that motion.
Second, Mayor.
Commissioner Phipps, and any comments on this from anybody?
do you want to start, Dan?
I'll start, I guess. I do not think that this ordinance will withstand a court challenge. And that's because there's been a case come out on August 1. It's from the 3rd District, which is Upper Ottawa. At least that's where that courthouse is. But it's called the Hickory Wind case. It involved the village of Cedar Point, who's also a non-home rule entity like we are. Hickory Wind was going to invest $138 million in a wind farm. This is a wind case. It's not a solar case, but all of the land was going to be unincorporated land within 1.5 miles of the village. The village passed a ordinance prohibiting wind energy conversion systems designed to generate greater than 120% of the electricity demand for the parcel on which it was located. It made effectively prohibited all wind farms outside of 1.5 miles of the 1.5 mile radius. And the ordinance preamble stated the village intention was to prohibit wind farms. So they weren't fooling around. They weren't trying to hide what they were doing. That's what they were doing. And Hickory Wind filed lawsuits and sought an injunction. Various landowners intervened on both sides of the lawsuit, and eventually the appellate court ruled that the ordinance was effectively prohibiting commercial wind farms within the jurisdiction and the 1.5 mile radius around the village. And the village had exceeded its statutory authority as a non-home rule municipality like Mattoon, because there's a specific statute that allows municipalities to regulate wind farms, not to prohibit them. And this was an impermissible exclusionary zoning practice because it rendered commercial wind farms economically impossible. And so the court also ruled that it conflicted with the state of Illinois' stated public policy, which is to be completely clean energy by the year 2050. So, and in this case, there's a specific statute in the municipal code that allows municipalities to regulate wind farms, but there's not anything for solar farms. We're just on the general municipal powers. So even with a specific ordinance that allowed them to regulate wind farms, that they couldn't do a ban. And I think what we're doing here is a ban, and it's a limited ban. It's not the whole 1.5 miles, it's 0.8 of a mile around, but it is a complete ban within that area unless you have a bargaining agreement. And so,
Right.
And there is the stated public policy that Illinois should be clean energy by 2050. So my legal opinion is that this will not stand a challenge in court if someone makes. opportunity to talk about this case anymore.
And I'm not a lawyer and I didn't sleep at Holiday Inn Express last night, but I do argue the other part that it's not a complete ban. We are allowing it in certain areas. We're just having a setback, and that, they can come inside that 0.8 if they have economic agreements with, community partners or whatever, communities. So, it's a conditional use, basically.
If I might add, just for the record, I mean, I don't think it's the opinion of the city of Mattoon that we want to go against those stated goals
Correct.
of the current administration and, Illinois' general objectives of having solar and wind by 2040, 2050, whatever year it is. But there is significant community support around this. I'm actually very surprised that most of the solar folks aren't here tonight. At the planning commission meeting, it passed unanimously. Multiple members of that group got up and spoke about they were really excited that the city was taking action on this issue. From there, I do agree with Kyle. I feel that, effectively, there is no ban on solar. They could be placed in every single aspect of that 1.5 miles if certain conditions are met. But that said, I mean, I really do think if it is challenged, to Dan's point, if they do solely rely on that prior case, that could cause an issue. But at the same time, I think we have a right as a municipality to regulate what's within our 1.5 mile boundary. And one of the key things in that proclamation and goal that the state has to be completely energy efficient is that it's for the quality of life of our residents. And our residents' quality of life can be impacted by the location of solar farms and wind farms. And so all we're doing is preserving quality of life while still allowing these essential renewable energy developments. It's just figuring out where's the highest and best use of the most appropriate land to put that on.
Here's the language that scares me.
Okay.
Case. Quote, a zoning ordinance is impermissibly exclusionary if the affected activity is effectively prohibited anywhere in the municipality. A non-home rule entity can only exercise the powers the state legislature confers on it, either expressly or impliedly. So the language that scares me is if it's effectively prohibited anywhere in the municipality. And I think this would qualify.
So if this were to pass, we potentially could be looking at
Someone could challenge
hundreds
it.
of thousands of dollars.
If a
Court fees,
if a
everything
solar
else.
farm comes in and has a bunch of agreements with local people that live within 1.5 miles and we don't allow them to do that, then they could sue for an injunction and the right to proceed and have the ordinance declared invalid.
That
Just to-
also means that like moving forward, let's say we don't pass this tonight, if we say no to a solar farm in the future, that's the same.
I'm sorry, what?
Like we could be challenged in court for saying no to a solar farm in the future if that's the direction we're going to take. Which then, to your point, would cost us legal fees, things like that. So I think it's just sort of,
You're saying without this ordinance?
Yeah, we can still be challenged.
Like if you have all that and we say, hey, all right, we're not going to pass this, and I am in favor of it, but if we don't pass that and then we say no to a solar farm in the future, it's the same situation.
Depending on where that solar farm's placed.
Well, it's just in general. I mean, they could use that case supposedly to just say, no, your 1.5 mile doesn't count for that. We can put it right next to your city limits. So that, and I
I don't think the case says that. This case invalidates a city ordinance as being impermissibly exclusionary.
So you're saying that you could say no still?
If we don't have any ordinance?
Yeah.
Of course you can.
Yeah. But then we would get sued potentially.
Well,
Well, they
because
can
we're
always
prohibited.
sue.
they can always sue.
They can always sue.
We have a record. I mean,
So-
we've approved some, we've not approved some.
Right.
It's not like we act in arbitrary fashion.
Correct.
And the important thing is that we treat them all the same. And you guys hear me say that all the time.
So to play devil's advocate, if we have this in place, we're not prohibiting them. There are steps though that they have to take to do it within that,
Conditions.
the conditions. right?
That's our opinion, but that's not what Dan still thinks it's a prohibited.
Yeah.
Yeah, his opinion is still that it's a prohibited use.
You're not gonna hurt my
No,
house.
no, we
Right.
don't.
You guys say no, it's just, we still.
I'm not going to hurt my feelings if you say yes. I'm giving my legal.
Right.
So are we in a better position to have some control over that 1.5 mile radius area?
You've always done, I think. Everyone's got to come here if they want to be within the 1.5 mile area.
Right, right. But to have that withstand in court, are we in a better position as it currently is? Or you're saying as it currently is, instead of, I think the idea behind this is trying to strengthen that,
It is.
that standing.
Right, and it's trying to put in, the argument Kyle's making is that it's regulation, it's not a complete ban.
Right.
I don't know if the court would agree based on this case. And this is a third district opinion. This is up towards northern Illinois. So it may not, we're in the fifth district. And so if the fifth district ever addresses this, they could come up with a different interpretation and then be up to the Illinois Supreme Court. But right now, this is the only case on it. And so it's precedential. And another appellate court would feel obligated to review it carefully.
Right. Is there some revisions to the ordinance that you would suggest? And
I think if you were going to do it, you would need a much more specified way to get the special use or to get in within the 0.8. I don't think you can just say, we have an agreement. Great. I think you've got to give them some regulation that you do this and you do this and you do this, then you can do it.
You tie that to like a specific, like dollar amount of economic development benefit or property tax benefit.
Well, and the court in the Hickory River case was talking about regulation. And so you have the power to regulate the size of the wind turbines or how much electricity can be generated. It's not tied to economic contributions. So it's regulating the production of the wind farm that they found was important.
So Alex, let me ask you this. Is this our way of maybe like satisfying both needs? It's not right up next to homes, but yet it allows the use of solar.
Yes, that was my intent.
Okay.
Does it,
I'm sorry.
but
Alex, I think it was last council meeting, the solar farm we approved, if that 0.75 or 0.8, as Dan points out, if that had been in play, would that have affected the project developer in any way?
Not at all. They supplied multiple CDAs, multiple different institutions. So they would have been able to go in with 0.8.
Yeah. The way I look at this, we have, I think there's been two that have come to this council. We approved one we did not. The planning commission vets it. We do a good job as council members vetting it. We always put the citizens first. I think everything's in play as is. And then I think obviously the opinion that Dan has offered is important for me as well. That's all I have, Mayor.
does it harm us? Legal question. Does it harm us at all by approving this? Is there any negative things right now?
I mean, I don't think the state's going to come down on us for having it. I mean, it comes down to whether someone wants to challenge it. If someone's,
Okay. And then that can trigger costs if we won't take it to court.
right. It passed tonight and no one could care and it would just be on the book.
I could see that it could draw more of a challenge than if we did not have the ordinance place and we said no to a solar farm because it was too close to residents. Maybe, because knowing this other case out there, it may make an attorney more likely to challenge it based off that than off of just turning it down.
Maybe. And I don't know.
Yeah,
If
I mean,
firms keep watching these things, if there's a group.
they're probably watching our council meeting.
Could they? They could do it ahead right now.
The reason why we got this on the agenda in the first place is because a group of people came here, they presented a case. We've said, okay, we can support that, and that's why we put it on the agenda. It doesn't hurt us any to put it on the agenda and pass it. Doesn't hurt us a bit. We don't think. I mean, there's judgmental calls, I guess we could make that it could do this or could do that, but it doesn't hurt us financial or any other way, just by passing it.
Until it does.
Until it does.
Until it does, but that may not ever happen. And by the way, if it does, and the parties that object to it, we've got something on the books and they want to pay our legal fees, they can do that, right? We could challenge it is if they say, we will pay for the legal fees, any amount that comes up, they get to decide how far it goes.
Okay.
Is that possible?
Sure.
Okay, that's what I want to have. That's what I understand. We don't have to pay a penny if they decide to do that. If we decide not to challenge it, then we're done.
Well, someone else would challenge our ordinance. We wouldn't challenge it.
No, we wouldn't. No, I understand
Okay.
that. No.
But if they challenged it, we would have legal.
We would.
Or just to settle it. I mean,
We could just,
or change the ordinance or whatever right
Yeah.
back.
we don't automatically have legal fees.
No.
Yeah.
Dan, to your point earlier, would you say it would make more sense if we regulated just the size of the development then?
Well, you can have reasonable regulation, and again, across the board that applies to everyone. And I don't know what that is. I don't know enough about solar panels, but the size of the panels or the number of panels you can have in a certain farm and megawatts, that sort of thing. Because this case talks about, the size of the rotors and things like that are all within the scope of the.
We could regulate how big of a buffer zone probably from residential and how many trees and all that stuff.
Right.
Aren't we doing that by putting this in place where we're designing the buffer zone right out of that chute?
That's kind of what I take it as, but I mean, we could also
Question is
word
that
it.
what you're doing or is it prohibiting it in half of the?
Excuse me.
When did the Hickory Wind case come about?
August 1.
So it's very new.
It's very
Right
new.
now.
And it's the only one.
I think, Mayor, I think there's some validity on both sides, both points. So much so that you got me all choked up here. So, I would suggest that we don't have a second yet on this. I think it needs a little more study, a little more
I
time.
seconded it. I seconded it.
I would
We
suggest.
do
that
have
we-
a second.
Yeah, I seconded it.
You did, I'm sorry. Okay, so with the second, we do have to vote on it, or if we pull it, it has to be on the next council agenda. Is that
If
correct?
you table it, it has to be.
Table it. Has to be on the next.
Now, since we have a motion and a second.
Have a motion and a
attorney,
second.
Do we have
Can we
to?
withdraw the motion?
You can withdraw it.
I think that's the prudent way to go. I think there's some validity on both sides, but it's,
So who's it up to? The person who made the motion to withdraw it?
Yeah.
Okay, if that's,
Or the second, they can, well, you don't want it to die of the
no,
lack of.
we don't, yeah, we've got the second. So if Commissioner Clausen wants to withdraw it, it doesn't have to be on the next meeting agenda. Is that correct? That is correct?
Correct, if it's withdrawn, yeah.
Okay,
So can whoever seconded, can they withdraw it?
but if they do,
If I say no,
You have to withdraw.
it's only me that has to withdraw?
well, if we,
Withdraw your motion, you're
Yeah,
taking
you're the
your
one.
motion off the table.
yeah, and it does not have to be on the next council meeting. If we withdraw the second, that has to be on the next council meeting, right?
It dies without a motion if he doesn't.
Without them, they die.
It dies without a second.
So either one of them could,
Only one of them can withdraw the motion, right?
one can withdraw the motion, one can withdraw a second,
If you
and
don't
then
get
it
a
dies,
second, then it dies.
Yeah.
And somebody else could second.
but somebody else could second it,
Yeah.
right?
I just think we need more time to study this, answer some questions and clarify like I said, there's validity on both points.
Yeah.
Legal and staff wise. And I think there's,
It's not cut and dry.
it's not cut and dry.
It's very new. I mean, it's all.
Is there a timing issue that we need to vote on this tonight?
No. I mean, really, it's just we did our due diligence to try to get as as soon as possible to council, just due to the messages that they've asked me for this for about 4 months. But again, like I definitely see both sides of the coin here.
And I agree with their point, where they're coming from. I totally agree with where they're coming from, but we want to get this right as well. Because it's not going to do those residents any good if we create an ordinance that is not effective or it's going to cause more problems down the road.
Mayor, I want to withdraw my second to that motion.
Okay. And just to clarify, that does not have to be on the next agenda.
Well, you need to ask for a second.
Yeah.
And if nobody seconds it, then it's done.
I have to ask for a second. Huh?
He withdrew his, so
Okay, anybody else want a second?
Anybody else can check.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, anybody else does anybody else want a second? Okay, so we have no second on this then, so then it will not appear next time. Okay, that's what I want to know. All right, moving on to the next item.
Next motion.
All right, I move to adopt resolution number 2025-3321, supporting the grant application for the development of a watershed management plan for Lake Paradise and Lake Mattoon in collaboration with the Coles County Soil and Water Conservation District.
I have a second to that motion.
I will second that one.
Commissioner Phipps. Watch, right? No, he's tried to get in about the last 7 or 8, I think. Okay, so have a second and any discussion on this item.
Just that it is due tomorrow, the application. So we are working with the Coles County Soil and Water Conservation. Had some difficulties of them logging into their system. So, but we found out that we can apply on their behalf through our SAMs and all
Right.
that.
And we're just showing,
Yeah.
this is just a letter of support. That's all this
Yep.
is. Okay, we have a second. Any other discussion, questions?
And Kyle, the watershed management plan will open up significant funding opportunities.
Once we get the
Right.
plan in place, yes.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
Okay, ready? Ready for roll call?
Commissioner Cox,
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Commissioner Butler,
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen,
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Motion to adopt resolution number 2025-3322, authorizing the approval and execution of a solar subscription agreement between the City of Mattoon and Sun Central LLC, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute the agreement and other relevant documents.
Can I have a second to that motion? Jim.
Second.
Commissioner Butler seconds it. And, okay, and any comments on this?
Solar on Earth is here if you guys have any questions, but this is, they presented to us, I don't know, a month and a half ago. It's about a 20% savings through tax credits, buying into solar farms. We're projecting at minimum $83,000 to $85,000 savings. I've talked with Pekin, Pontiac, talked to LaSalle a lot on theirs. They all, kind of had the same questions we had, but everybody seems to be very pleased with it, and it's a chance for us to save some money. So every little bit helps.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Commissioner Phipps,
Yes.
Commissioner Butler,
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Motion to approve council decision request 2025-2641, approving a home occupation application for special use to allow the gunsmithing of firearms by Ron Bateman at 2801 Richmond Avenue and authorizing the mayor to sign the permit.
Do we have a second to that motion?
Second.
Commissioner Clausen, your deal.
Home occupations is nothing new. It allows one person in the dwelling to run some kind of a business out of their home, as long as they don't have a lot of stock or trade or anything in it. So we've had beauticians run a one station beauty salon. We've had firearm sales, catalog sales, basically, where they could have a couple guns, but not a big display or anything like that. We've had gunsmithing in the past, so pet grooming. So those are all just, one person in a neighborhood doing a small business, basically. Inspections went out and took a look at it and everything, so they felt there was plenty of parking and everything.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Commissioner Butler?
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Commissioner Cox?
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes.
Motion to approve council decision request 2025-2642, approving the proposal in the amount of $105,888 from Helitech to perform work associated with settlement issues on the Burgess Osborne Auditorium building and authorizing the mayor to sign the proposal.
Second to that motion?
Second.
Commissioner Cox, and any comments, questions?
I'll just say this is a settlement that's obviously been going on for several years. There have been some filling of cracks over the years, and we've been monitoring basically over this year. It's getting worse. A lot of it's probably due to some of the drying conditions that we've experienced over the last several years. This is hopefully, well, not hopefully, it will stop its further settlement. Hopefully, it will correct some of it down the road. So, what we're trying to do is save the building on that south end.
Dave, what fund is this being pulled from?
Capital project fund.
Capital projects.
We had 175 slated for repairs to the bridges this year.
And Woods Basement Systems gave us a quote as well.
Yeah, they were like about 110.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Good. Yeah. Did you have a question on this one or did, no? Go ahead. Roll call.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Commissioner Cox?
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps?
Yes.
Commissioner Butler?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes.
Okay. I think he did one.
Oh,
Mayor, I just wanted to make a point. I'm the CEO of Soul on Earth and
Nathan McCarthy.
makes us a veteran, but I do with your farming. One thing I wanted to say, I think the solar industry does a perfect job with the way that these projects look after they're built. They kind of look like an industrial project. So maybe like an idea for the city is putting requirements on landscaping, berms, the way that the fences look. The gates can't look like you're going into like a rundown warehouse. It's all chain link. So if you guys did like farm fencing, you could also put requirements on so it would like not deter them from developing projects in city or, county limits. I'm not sure how the jurisdiction goes, but you could also put requirements that if your company wants to do business here, you also have to do a dual purpose solar array. You have to use the land that's getting leased for sheep raising or honey. We've seen kind of every scenario. I think in solar or anything, it's always extremely hard to make everybody happy. Just like in New York, when we did a bunch of projects and we had all the landscapers do all the mowing, and then someone said, "Hey, how come you don't do, all the land's being taken from farming?" And then we canceled all the landscape contractors and brought the sheep in, and all the landscape guys were upset. But that's kind of an example. One thing I will say for farmers, I spent about 5 years working on dairy farms only, doing community solar. There's a farm, and this just goes with maybe some rules for leasing land, is I have a farmer named Keith Peters, tough guy, probably 65 years old, big family, has 2 sons. They have a 2,000 head dairy farm. They just built a 100 head rotary parlor for milking cows. And we got him onto the community solar program to get credits on his electric bill. And he said, "Hey, Nathan, by the way, we have this 90 acres that is kind of tough to grow. Can you take a look at it?" I said, "Sure, we'll take a look at it." And we ended up leasing that land from him. And the way that he explained it to me, I just want to explain from like a farmer's perspective at least. Because you have a lot of, I hear with the townspeople and whatever, it's different if you're a farmer. It's the way he explained it to me is the land lease was going to give him the ability to, this is a guy 65, he's probably been milking cows since he's 6 years old. A lot of people don't spend a lot of time on the farm. I'm sure more people do here. But, he said pretty much the land lease is going to give him the ability to retire without dipping into the money from the farm. So the dairy farm can kind of function separately while he's retiring. So I do want to kind of explain that there's definitely some really positive stories for the farmers. Maybe commercial, but not as big of a deal, but when a farmer can lease their land to diversify their income. You also hear a lot of different opinions. Maybe someone was approached about leasing their land. They didn't want to move this quick. The neighbor ended up leasing their land. And then the neighbor said, oh, well, I finally made my mind up. I want to do it too. They call the solar company and then they say, hey, the substation's full. We can't do any more solar farms. And now that guy's going around talking bad about solar. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just trying to give the city some ideas, like putting rules on these companies on how your fences look, burns, nice trees that surround it, so it doesn't look like an industrial complex. Like there needs to be some effort put into how they look when they're done. Honestly, I see some of them, I'm a little bit embarrassed. Like, hey, I should tell these cities that you could say, hey, you got to put 50 grand aside for this project just for landscaping. Oh, what kind of fence are you using? Chain link? No. So, if someone really wants to get into these projects, they're going to drive through chain link fence. I have a friend, fencing friend, bolster fencing. Hey, like if someone really wants to drive through chain link fence, they're going to get through. So, like instead of putting this ugly chain link fence, barn fence, I'm just trying, like I said, give them ideas. The gates look horrible that they're putting up. They could do a better job. They could put some wood in there, make it like look like it's like still a part of a farm instead of like a power plant. By spending some time with some sort of landscape designer, I'm sure there's some good landscape design. Hey, like this has to go through the landscape designer. We put all efforts to make this place not look like commercialized from a field before, you know, and then you guys could easily, there's associations called Solar Grazers of America. These guys literally have organizations that connect farmers who have sheep that can get contracts with the solar developers where they're required to have grazing and not mechanical mowing. So that also might take back some of the people saying, hey, you're taking it out of that. Technically, we're not. We're still, and that would just be the city being further ahead with saying you can do solar, but we have a bunch more rules than everybody else. And maybe instead of fighting or whatever, if you could come up, like I said, I think that I've never, on all the projects we've been a part of, it seems like no one cares about how they're going to look on the outside. Like I can't, like we take good care of our building in Chadwick, Illinois. Like you know, they used to sell mowers before we bought the building, and the grass looked horrible. So like that's the thing. Like how are you building this beautiful? The solar wouldn't look as bad. Like I said, they spent some time on the lands. And I've been in every single city council meeting you could imagine from Massachusetts to Hawaii, building solar farms, and that's just something easy the city could say, hey, you know, you can build it, but you got a lot more rules and everything. It's just, I just want to give an idea.
I think those are valid points and valid ideas. And I think that can be very useful in the conversation that's coming.
Sometimes with no thought of it was a farm.
Yeah.
Appreciate your comments.
So, sorry. Didn't mean it.
No,
No, you're good. All right.
appreciate it.
Next is comments by the council, starting with Commissioner Clausen,
No comments, Mayor. Thank you.
and next will be Commissioner Butler.
I have no comments.
Okay. And then Commissioner Phipps.
No comments for me either.
Okay.
Crazy.
Commissioner Cox, would you like to say something?
Nothing this evening. Thank you.
Mayor Hall? No, I'm ready. So we're ready for another motion.
I would make a motion, we adjourn.
And a second to that.
Second.
And roll call.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Phipps?
Yes.
Mr. Butler?
Yes.
Mr. Clausen?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you all. Thank you, everybody. Go to bed early.
Hey, such an honest.
Get this, my wife.
Articles.
Really?
But I mean, it's like about it for regular meeting. You know, but don't call it a buffer. That's all. Like, they want it